host with the most, Jen Bell, as always. Welcome back. First off, I apologize that I've kind of have a lack of videos this week. I've actually been watching quite a bit of stuff, but I just have had some trouble finding time to actually record videos for reviews, because I was actually going to really start this week getting back into the groove of things, kind of going back to my old schedule and everything, and it just kind of epically failed. We're going to try this again next week to actually get it back up, but before next week, we're going to do at least a couple of reviews this week. First movie that I want to talk to you guys about this week, before my Thursday video, is a movie many of you probably have seen, in The Wrestler from 2008, starring Mickey Rourke, Marissa Tomei, and Evan Rachel Wood. Now, I know, like I said, a lot of you have already seen this. I've seen this a few times. One of my favorite movies of all time. I highly recommend it. And if you are not a wrestling fan, I definitely say check this movie out, because I'm not the biggest sports fan. Like, obviously I'm into wrestling and stuff, so obviously I'm gonna like this, but I'm not like the biggest sports fan, but I still enjoy watching sports related movies, such as Rudy, or Slapshot, or just there's so many different sports movies, Rocky and stuff, so I do enjoy myself a good sports movie. This one, brilliant. So The Wrestler obviously is about a fictional wrestler played by Mickey Rourke. Ram is his wrestling name. And basically he's, one of these old timers way past his prime. He's pretty much kind of doing indie shows and stuff that many of us see a lot of these old timers kind of doing. Not everyone's fortunate enough to kind of stick around with WWE as an official backstage or anything. So, this is kind of just what happened with Ram himself. Is, he's washed up. He's going from circuit to circuit and everything, as it's called in wrestling, to different independent promotions, doing appearances, doing signings and stuff, and he's literally doing it for like peanuts. He really can't make a living. He lives in a trailer. So yeah, and Evan Rachel Wood plays his daughter, and they have a very strained relationship and everything. Very much. If you guys have ever seen the first documentary of Jake the Snake Roberts, who is a very well-known wrestler from like the 80s and early 90s and everything. Very kind of similar to that, and I know that this movie was pretty heavily like influenced or inspired by Jake the Snake Roberts, and like a few others. I mean, he's not the only one, but kind of like one of the most well-known stories. Like, he didn't have a very great relationship with his daughters for many, many years, and many times, like, even in this one documentary that was done about Jake the Snake, like, you could see, like, his daughters at times, such as Evan Rachel Wood, were kind of like, yeah, you're a loser, like, you're a loser, you're a has-been, you're this, you're that, I want nothing to do with you. Very, very heartbreaking. It's like you feel for Ram and everything, but you also feel for Evan Rachel Wood's character and everything, because you're kind of like, dude, like, yeah, like, I get you're a wrestler, I get your big name and stuff, and, you're still trying to make a little bit of money and stuff to make a living, but, like, you get to a point where you're like, enough's enough. Like, I can't anymore, So, I totally get it. It's very, very heart-wrenching movie at times. And then also, too, like, Marissa Tomei, who, oh my god, Marissa Tomei in this movie, first off, freaking beautiful, and secondly, oh my god, her performance in this movie is top notch. I truly love her performance in this and everything. She's actually a stripper in this movie and everything. She has a young son herself and everything. She's kind of struggling, trying to like make money and stuff, make ends meet and everything. But she's, with her struggling and everything, and her and with her son and everything, you kind of see like two different people who are struggling, who have kids. How one in Marissa Tomei, who, you know, like I said, is trying to just make ends meet, trying to provide for her son and everything. Yeah, you know, she might be a stripper, but she's kind of like, you know what, I'm making money. You know, it's something that I can, you know, support my son with and everything. It might not be, you know, something that I'm necessarily proud of doing like private dances for these guys and stuff. But hey, you know what? My 8-year-old son needs to be fed tonight and needs to be clothed for school tomorrow. And then you have, you know, as I said, Mickey Rourke's character who just doesn't even factor in his daughter. You could tell it didn't really factor in his daughter like at all. It was kind of like, okay, work, 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 not really realizing the sort of impact that he was having on his daughter of just kind of like throwing her to the side and stuff, and just being kind of like, well, I gotta go on the road, gotta make that money. Just, you know, he didn't quite have it quite as balanced as Marissa Tomei's character did in this movie and everything. But it just, you know, to see those two sort of sides of things, like I said, of one person really trying to just do whatever they can to provide for their kid, and the other one thinking they're doing whatever they can to provide for their kid, but just doing it really wrong. Well, I shouldn't say wrong, but just kind of realizing he messed up, and he messed up big time, and he messed up way too many times. So, you know, and it's, you know, you do see a moment, there are a couple moments between Mickey Rourke's character Ram and his daughter Evan, Rachel Wood's character, where you think like, okay, you know, maybe she's kind of going to forgive him, maybe it's gonna work out, and mm-mm, mm-mm. But no, it's a great movie to watch, you guys. If you have not seen this, like I said, check it out. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, you'll still really enjoy this. Still will kind of tug at your heartstrings and everything. And oh my gosh. And like I said, I mean, if you don't know who like Jake the Snake Roberts is or anything, who is kind of like a big inspiration for this movie, yeah, not a big deal. I mean, that's kind of, you know, hearsay, here and here. I can't talk today, sorry. It's, you know, it's not a big deal if you don't know who he is or anything, or his backstory, or even his career, or, you know, like I said, any sort of like of the other wrestlers that was kind of backstory or real life was sort of inspired by this. And there are like some actual wrestlers in here and everything, and I even will admit not all of them I even like really know. So, but hey, whatever. But definitely check this one out, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of this movie if you have seen it? Till next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.